A federal judge in New Jersey officially dismissed the trespassing charge against Newark Mayor Ras Baraka Wednesday. Baraka, who's also running for New Jersey governor, was arrested earlier this month outside an ICE detention facility. He had been touring with several members of New Jersey's congressional delegation. The mayor was taken into custody following an alleged physical altercation between the lawmakers and ICE agents. On Monday, the Justice Department decided to drop its case against Baraka and charge Democratic Congresswoman LaMonica McIver. She's accused of assaulting officers at the Delaney Hall facility. McIver appeared virtually in court Wednesday. She was not asked to enter a plea and has been released on her own recognizance. McIver says the charges against her are purely political. For more, let's bring in CBS News Justice Department correspondent Scott MacFarlane. Scott, the judge in New Jersey gave a warning to federal prosecutors regarding the arrest of Mayor Baraka. What did he say, and what happens next for Congresswoman McIver?
So much of this was untraditional. It's not a surprise the judge would push back on what happened with Mayor Baraka's case, calling it a misstep during a brief hearing this afternoon in which the Department of Justice agreed to recommend a dismissal of the case. And it was so untraditional, not just the nature of the event and the arrest, the confrontation you see there from the body camera footage from police, but that the U.S. attorney made public statements about this case obviously raised the profile of it, but was just a misdemeanor. And ultimately, the U.S. attorney stepped back and said, we no longer want to charge this case, without giving a good argument as to why, or at least expressing in detail why. Lindsay, all of that is a break of Department of Justice protocol. Judges are unaccustomed to having federal prosecutors in front of them do that type of thing. I expect we'll hear more from judges as Congresswoman McIver's case makes its way through the courts. She also had that same dynamic, Lindsay. Her case was announced in a social media post by the U.S. attorney, Alina Habba, before the court filings were released. Big break from tradition.
The Justice Department announced plans to end police reform agreements reached with Louisville and Minneapolis following the 2020 deaths of Breonna Taylor and George Floyd. The DOJ also dismissing investigations into police departments in several major U.S. cities over constitutional violations. What was the purpose of those agreements? Why is the Justice Department getting rid of them?
No surprise they're getting rid of them, because they had, over the first 4 months of the Trump administration, been hitting the snooze button on some of the paperwork or deadlines on those consent decrees with the Minneapolis Police Department and the Louisville Police Department, which were put in place over the last few years after the shooting death of Breonna Taylor and the murder of George Floyd. There were accusations and concerns inside the Biden administration. Those police departments were not following best practices, were using excessive force, were not living up to the standard police departments should live under. So they were constructing these long-term agreements to oversee the police departments as they innovate, as they repair their practices. Now, the Trump Justice Department says it doesn't want to be in that business. They're disentangling from police department oversight, saying this is best done at the local level, not at the federal level. They've used the phrase micromanaging to describe these types of federal Department of Justice oversight issues with local police departments. They're just getting out of that business broadly. No surprise they did so in Louisville and Minneapolis.
And finally, Scott, the Justice Department announced it is investigating former New York governor and current New York City mayoral candidate Andrew Cuomo. What do we know?
Yeah, two sources CBS News has contacted and confirmed that are familiar with the matter say there is a criminal investigation of the former New York governor. The Department of Justice is not commenting on it just yet. But we know for many months, Republicans in Congress have pressed the Department of Justice to launch a probe of Governor Cuomo, saying he perjured himself during a 2024 congressional hearing into the COVID outbreak and how New York responded to the COVID outbreak in 2020. The former governor's spokesperson tells CBS News they have not been notified about an investigation. They haven't been subpoenaed. They call this lawfare and election interference, as he's now pursuing the Democratic nomination to be New York City's mayor. The investigation has not culminated in anything, and the Department of Justice, again, is not commenting.
Scott MacFarlane, thank you as always.